Okay.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of Big and Stupid Game Reviews. I'm Stupid J.
Big Mike.
And this week,
we're reviewing generic shooter number 46B with zombies.
Also known as
Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Alright. Very good. So, I guess the most important thing to point out about this game is that this is not Resident Evil 6.
No.
This is not even part of the regular franchise.
No.
It's just, this is if you're used to Resident Evil games, this is not a standard Resident Evil game. This is not a walk, stop, shoot, move on to the next thing. This is, first of all, you're the bad guy. You're not the good guys. And this is a cover-based third-person shooter. Period. Is what this is. With just set in the Resident Evil universe, in between some of the games, which is one of the things that I liked about the game. But that's what this is. This is not a straight up, this is Resident Evil 5.0. That's because it's not. It's not. It's a totally different game. I don't know if they chose this direction based on everyone's bitching about the controls for all the other Resident Evil games. But they've changed it, and that's the way it is. And yeah, 4-person co-op. And probably shouldn't be doing this review while I'm on drugs and drinking tequila, but that's just the way it is, and my brain is really not catching up with me.
Well, somebody has to say good stuff about this game, because I sure as hell am not.
Well, it's totally different when you play single player and co-op. And this game is built for co-op, unfortunately. Which is fine. I mean, I don't mind co-op. I do mind when the single player experience suffers because it's built directly for co-op. There are times where the AI was awesome with me. I'm playing it, I'm getting healed by my medic. My guys are going ahead and they're taking care of enemies. Vector's turning invisible. He's slicing the necks in front of me. Like, this is awesome. And they're helping me out. And then there are times where they're just running in circles, running into walls, not helping me at all. And I'm constantly healing them and getting them up, which is great for achievements. But, I mean, the AI is all over the place. I mean, really all over the fucking place. And then when I played co-op online with some people, totally different game and a lot more fun, and yeah, I had more of a blast doing it that way. One of the things, the cover system works fine. I have no issues with it. I prefer a prompt system than run into and stick to the surface, but I can deal with it. I played a lot of third-person. Yes, I have played lots of shooter games.
No, but I can't deal with it.
But I had no problems with it. I can do what I need to do. There are a couple times where it gets annoying when you're trying to collect stuff, or you don't mean to and you stick to it. Other than that, it didn't really give me any issues.
Yeah, you can't get near. You can't get near anything. And one of the things is you're supposed to collect this data, and the data sits on a desk, and you can't get near the desk without. And then you have to pull out so that you can. I have it all.
Well,
in these notes right here.
Well, like I said, it happened to me once in a while, but not that often.
All the time. I couldn't. You can't get near anything.
Yeah.
It's the worst cover thing.
Oh, I've played much worse than this.
Oh, see.
It's not great. I mean, but it works the way it's supposed to work. It works. There's no problems with that. It's just that they really should have did a button prompt A or B or whatever to get into cover. Kind of like the same problem like with every third-person cover system shooter, where they do the same button revives as the same button as your action button to pick up stuff. So every game has this problem. I don't care how fucking popular it is. I don't care if it's Gears of War. I don't care if it's Army of 2. When you go to revive your guy and there's a gun there, you're picking up the gun every fucking time instead of reviving your guys. And that's something that needs to stop in these games.
Yes, third-person cover-based shooters do need to stop. It's ridiculous.
I like the boss battles too. They were challenging. Everyone was different. And so that's something that stuck out to me that I enjoyed too. Really, they were challenging. And they were all different. Each one took its own different set of tactics. You know, I didn't find them boring or repetitive when it came to any of that. and the game challenged me all the way through. I liked it.
There wasn't enough of anything. See, the thing is, any other time, this game would have been a generic shooter that I could have lived without. But this is a Resident Evil game. No matter what anybody says, the title of this game is Resident Evil, so it's held to Resident Evil standards. It's not a generic third-person shooter. I usually don't bring my notes. I have this many notes, and they're all bad things, except for this one about how Four Eyes is pretty. But besides that, there's nothing I enjoyed about this game. It looks bad. It doesn't look good.
It's way too dark. Way.
And
I put my gamma 100% just to see.
And the other thing is, it has this weird lighting thing. When you're supposed to collect something, it has an outline, and it sort of glows a little bit. But the shitty lighting effect makes everything glow. The books on the shelves glow. Any stapler that's sitting on a desk, there's a little thing of light around it. It glows. Everything does it. I don't know if you noticed. I noticed because I was trying to pick up literally everything that I walked past. I was like, oh, this must be important. No, it's just shitty lighting. I never noticed stuff like that because I don't care. As long as I'm having fun,
yeah.
I don't care what the game looks like. But stuff like that, it bothered the crap out of me. So the whole Resident Evil thing that I have is that when you're playing a Resident Evil game, the whole time you're going, oh my god, what was that noise? I can't fight anything. I don't have any bullets. I don't have a green herb. I don't have anything to heal myself with. I'm going to backtrack and, see if I can find something, and then I'll go and take this on, because you know it's coming. But in this one, you kill a couple of Spec Ops guys, you pick up your submachine gun, and then when the lickers crawl out of the vents, and there's 70 of them, no problem, just shoot them with your blah, 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 blah. It's not a Resident Evil game. The most lickers I ever dealt with before was 3 at a time. And when you're dealing with 3 in a real Resident Evil game, you're like, holy fuck, how am I supposed to do this? Now it's like, oh, there's 60 lickers on the wall. Oh, I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. It's stupid.
Well, you gotta up the ante when this game, it's, again, 4 people. You're not by yourself.
Yeah. And that's another thing.
And it's, you guys are secret agents.
No, I know. No,
you guys are military guys.
I understand.
But what I'm saying though is, if they would have went that route, like what you want,
yeah,
the game you would have just walked through with one hand with a controller, beating it with no problem.
Well, see, that's what I don't want. I don't want my Resident Evil to be with specially trained special ops badass with the submachine gun. You're supposed to be by yourself, or with somebody who's actually making your life more difficult. That's the point of survival horror games. And you, again, well, this isn't, I know, this isn't a survival game, but it is a Resident Evil game. Just because it's set in the Resident Evil universe, it just bugs me that it's a Resident Evil game. But besides that, even as just a generic third-person shooter, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work right. One of my teammates got infected by zombies. I literally blew him in half with a shotgun. He was bloody legs laying on the floor. So I cleared out the rest of the room. His name thing is still there. And I walked over to him and it said, press A to revive teammate. So I held A. He was just standing right back up. It was fine. There's no sense of urgency. Like, oh, I can heal this half a guy.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no, like, when you're playing a Resident Evil game, like I said, you hear the sounds. You know something's coming up. Or, you're walking down a hallway and some dogs crash in through the window. This is nothing. This is walking down the street, oh, all of a sudden there's a million zombies coming out. Is it supposed to be scary? Because it's not. I just have so many problems with this game because, and it all stems from the fact that it's a Resident Evil game, but it's not. It's a poorly put together third.
What do you have
person
on, like? Well, you already don't like the cover system. What else do you have more that's technical?
The lighting thing bothered me. No puzzles. I actually had that the boss fights were boring.
Really? When you fought 2 tyrants at once?
Yeah, with 4 other people.
Oh, my AIs were getting murdered.
Shot the dude in half. Take the enemies thing. It's not really the technical problems. It's not really anything.
So your more thing is you're just mad because it's not a survival horror.
Yeah.
Standard Resident Evil.
And it's not even standard because when they after 3, they changed up how the Resident Evil games worked. They were still survival horror. You still had that sense of dread. They can make the game as dark as they want.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it scary.
See, I didn't feel that way in 5 at all. 5 I didn't think was the slightest bit scary or very survival horror.
I didn't play 5 very much.
So you should have played that more.
No.
You probably would have had a lot of the same problems.
Oh, well.
But the thing is this isn't, regardless of our personal feelings on this here, is what people need to know.
Yes.
What you need to know is this is not going to be another Resident Evil game that you played before. This is a third-person, 4-player co-op. You can play single if you want, and it's not too bad, but it is meant for co-op. Tactical shooter game. That's what it is.
There's also no tactics involved. Just because you have 4 guys, you can't tell them what to do.
No, I tell my co-op friends what we're doing when we're playing.
Everybody on Xbox Live's an idiot anyway. Sorry. I'm sorry. Just worked up. I played this game this morning to see if I could finish it. I didn't even finish the stupid game.
Oh man, it's a shame. I love the ending. It's very abrupt, but boy, it didn't end any way I was expecting, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So, well then, let's just finish this up here by going to co-op. And I think we both did the same thing. That was pretty much just, I just didn't have enough time to play all the modes. One of the modes I know is different is the Nemesis mode, wherein it's team-based deathmatch, and then a Nemesis gets dropped down the middle of the map, and you got to make a mad dash for it, and whoever can control the Nemesis has the Nemesis on their team. It's a nice little twist. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, I can see how that'd be a pain in the ass. Like, if you don't get it, I could just see getting slaughtered, and there's nothing fun in being slaughtered, unfairly. But I played a lot of the team deathmatch with some people online, too. I had some fun with it. It's not anything real different from any other team deathmatch, except for there's a shitload of zombies thrown in there. And I know it's not a big difference, but it totally changed the way I play team deathmatch, because I play it in several other games that I still enjoy playing online, and I couldn't use a lot of the same tactics I usually use, because now I got zombies up my ass. And the fact that you can use bleeding damage to make someone on the other team bleed, and then the zombies smell it like rabid sharks and go after them, and just to use little stuff like that, to me was fun and gave some extra to it. And I got some cheap kills when someone's fighting a zombie and I walk behind them and blow their head off, kind of like a prick. But I mean, I know it's not a lot different, but it was different enough that I was like, oh, this is cool and kind of different, and I had fun with it,
Yeah, well, the thing is, since the game's so dark, and zombies are there, and your teammates look the same as the Spec Ops guys. Some of the zombies have the Spec Ops gear on, some of the zombies have... I never knew who the hell I was supposed to shoot, so I just went around shooting everybody.
There you go.
And I don't even know if I was, like, I don't even know...
Well, you can't hurt your own teammates anyway.
Well, then, what is the point? It's just, it's so dumb. It's more, maybe not so much because they fucked up Resident Evil. It just goes... Basically what the problem with modern games is. They, it's all the same. They took a Resident Evil game and made it the same as everything else. And like with Resident Evil, it used to be puzzles and you would find this, and then 4 hours later, oh, that's what I use this for. You figure stuff out. This is, here's where you have to go. Get there this way, use this, and put it here, and then do this. I like it when games don't assume that I'm retarded. I like it when I have to figure stuff out.
I agree. I would have liked to see more of that in this, but I'm glad they got rid of the inventory system. I've always hated it in Resident Evil. I find it to be annoying, a pain in the ass. I always hated the stop, point, shoot, and then get slaughtered while another zombie's chewing on my ballsack. It's not fun. It never was, and I still don't. So now, I don't see this in the same light as you do. I don't think of this as the next step in Resident Evil. I really don't.
I hope it's not.
I really do see this as just a side thing, and I enjoyed it. It's not even made by Capcom, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? It's produced.
Slant 6.
Yeah. So I'm like, again, I didn't have any real issues with it, and I just didn't put any extra thought into it.
Yeah.
And
my real issue was,
I liked the fact that it went in between the Resident Evil storylines, and I got to see Ada Wong, I got to see Claire Redfield, I got to see Leon Kennedy, and fight these people. I was like, hell yeah, I want to shoot these people in the face. Yay! For me, that was all kind of cool.
If there was anybody I would want to shoot in the face, it would be Leon, but still, yeah, you said it in the beginning. This game was, you're the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've spent, since when did the first one come out? I was like 15.
Yeah, we were young.
I was like 14 or 15. I've spent a lot of time with these people. And now I'm supposed to control the guys who caused this whole thing? Stop. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in charge of making Jill Valentine's life hell.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in charge of making Chris Redfield's life hell. Again, Leon, whatever.
Well, for me, it was nice to see a different perspective of things. You know what I mean? And even when you get throughout this, you even realize you're the bad guy, but you're completely expendable. Because Umbrella is just like, okay, we don't need you anymore, and they leave you to sit and get killed.
Yeah.
Because you're a witness, and then you realize, I don't want to give away too much of this, but that's what I like seeing the different perspective.
No. I don't like the way that they take a franchise, and you don't need to keep the franchise the same. I didn't mind when they switched over to the 4 format, but when you're going to take a franchise that has, this is what we are.
Well established.
Yeah, this is an established, this is what we are, and then make this generic of a game out of it. No, that doesn't sit right with me. And then I played the new Silent Hill, and I'm like, oh, they can still make good survival horror games, and that's another thing. After I played that, I'm like, oh, so they can still make a game that's not, that doesn't assume I'm retarded and stays faithful to the franchise.
But then again, this isn't survival horror.
No,
really
it's not.
Isn't. No, so, but I also want to give a shout out to people who helped me out online with this game for death matches and also co-op, and that was the Zero G, X Lucifer X, and the annoying Rainbow Princess.
She is annoying. And it's not even a Rainbow Princess, it's R4.
Yeah, jeez. I'm not going through that bullshit.
Stop doing that, people!
Yeah, you know who
letters are letters and numbers are not letters.
You know who you are, Princess. You bitch.
Like us on Facebook.
So, but yes, I mean, and yeah, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to the show, and to some of you who already liked Facebook, Mike even told some of you guys, he gave you a shock. Hey, this is what we're reviewing. Hey, this is how I feel about it already. Some of them would have already known what we were doing today if they would have only liked us on Facebook. If only.
I like to let people know. Just like my first impressions. I'll put first impressions, games that I know that we're not going to review, just stupid stuff. You do it too.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
You get little extra stuff.
And that's why they should be going on. And of course, all of our amazing anecdotes. And by that I mean you, because I'm barely on the Facebook page.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook way too much.
So, like us, subscribe, and
don't play Resident Evil Raccoon City.
Oh shit, what the hell was your recommendation?
My recommendation,
I guess nothing,
is if somebody tries to sell you this game, you kick them in the balls and then keep kicking them until they're genitals are mutilated hamburger.
Okay. Well, mine is, you know, don't expect anything too different out of it. Fanboys, I think, are probably going to enjoy it, like seeing different things. Like, I enjoyed seeing the different aspect of things, and I don't think it's all that awful. But my recommendation is, it's hard. If you're a fanboy and you need everything Resident Evil, then yeah, go right ahead and enjoy it. But if not, and you want another third-person shooter, there's better.
I'm a fanboy. That's why I didn't like the game.
I'm a fanboy. That's why I loved
listening?
it. I'm a fanboy. That's why I loved it. So you can see why you watch this. This is why you watch this show.
Did we prove anything today?
Yes, that you and I will hardly ever agree on anything.
It's either the worst game ever or
a decent
fine
it's
shooter.
Decent.
No, it's worse.
Whatever. See you next week.